Welcome to the Paying Off Debt series that I'm making just for you. My name is Jarrad from Debt Free Blueprint, and in this series we're talking about paying off debt. And basically because I can tell you how to start paying off debt, that's easy. I can tell you how to finish paying off debt, that's easy. But what about the part of the paying off debt process where you spend the most time? In the middle, while you're paying it off. You're kind of trudging along, trying to get it all paid off, the annoying parts, the ups, the downs. So in this series, what I like to do is pick one topic surrounding the main topic of paying off debt and go a little bit deeper into it to give you some insights, observations, possibly some motivation, things that I kind of realized while I was paying off my $82,000 in debt and even since paying off my debt. And the topic of this video is around the words I can't. So as some of you might or might not know, I don't have any kids. I don't have a girlfriend right now. But I love being around kids. I just think children are so interesting. Just picking their brains and just learning about them and how they think. So there's one kid that's in my life. He's the son of someone else in my life. Well, the kid's name, we'll call him Luke. And Luke was over at my house the other day with his dad, and I was making some food, and Luke was like, I want to help make some food, and I'm like, okay. So I put him up on the counter, and he's helping me kind of I was eating like a burrito. I was making a burrito. And I told him to do something, because I wanted him to actually get involved. And at one point he said, I can't. And something went off in my brain where I was like, man, I hate hearing the words I can't. And especially coming from a little kid like that. And so I said, you know what, Luke, we don't say I can't. We either say I can or I will try. And I actually got him to say those words. I can, I will try. So he did whatever he was trying to do and he was able to do it. So fast forward a couple weeks later and I was around his dad. And all I kept really hearing his dad say was basically, I can't. And immediately, I thought back to that situation when I was sitting there with his son making this food. How his son was saying, I can't. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Now I know where Luke got the thought of even I can't into his brain. And one thing that I realized and I've really thought about lately is, if you think about it, we're all little kids, just grown up, you know? We all have different experiences and situations that happen in our lives in those first handful of years that we're alive, which are very formative parts of our lives. And unfortunately, we don't have control over the things that we were taught when we were younger. And that's why I personally try to make it a point to teach these younger kids that I'm around about kind of the right way to live and think. And when I realized that this child probably got the words I can't stuck in his head from his father, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, his father has that mindset of I can't, and now he's almost spreading that negative thought to his offspring. And I was like, holy smokes. And I know that we all come from different backgrounds, and we can't control how we were raised. We just can't. So what I want to encourage you to do while you're paying off your debt is to try to realize when you're telling yourself, I can't. Because those are probably some of the worst words you can say to yourself is, I can't. And what I say to myself now instead of I can't is, I'll try. Like I said, I'll try, I can, or I just don't want to. Because maybe it's something that you don't want to do. But while you're paying off your debt, I don't want you to say, I can't make more money. I can't find a higher paying job. I can't pay extra money towards my debt. Or even, when you're done paying off your debt, like, I can't hit a savings rate like Jarrad, because Jarrad saves 50 to 60% of his income every month. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You just need to find a way. So instead of constantly saying I can't, and the words might not even come out as I can't every single time, but it might just cross your mind like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. Or you might be saying other things that basically mean I can't do this. And I want to encourage you to please stop saying I can't. Because there's too many people in this world that say I can't, and that's why they don't ever achieve anything, or that's why they stop doing things. And I can't, I wish it would be just removed from the English language forever. I used to be someone who said I can't for the majority of my life as I was growing up. But once I stopped saying I can't, that's when everything changed for me. Because I became cognizant of what those words really mean. I can't. That's bullshit. You can. If you have a brain, if you have a body that moves, if you can think clearly, then you can. You absolutely can. You might not be able to do something the same way as someone else, but you can do it in your specific way, a way that's unique to you. So please remove the thoughts of I can't, because I've tried to teach this to that one kid's father, but he just doesn't want to listen. And I hope that you listen and you understand when you're saying I can't, and remove that word, that phrase from your vocabulary. I don't want to see you end up like this guy that I know, because he's going down a path that is not the right path. And I've tried to help, but the person obviously doesn't want to help. I guess one other thing I realized also when I heard this father saying I can't, I was around his parents as well, and I noticed that his parents, when he kept finding all these roadblocks and excuses as to why he can't do something, I noticed that they weren't even really challenging, and I was sitting there at the table, and man, I was biting my tongue because I don't think it was my place to say yes you can, and here is how you can, because everything that he said he couldn't do, I had a solution in my head, but I knew that wasn't the right time to speak up in that setting, because there were a lot of people around and it would have just thrown off the dynamics of the situation. So that is one thing that I've learned over time is, Jarrad, sometimes you just need to shut up and don't say what's going on in your head, because I used to be that person that would just blurt it out, and now I've become a little bit more refined with how I approach those things. And I can honestly say that I didn't just completely let it go. I talked to this person one-on-one before, so I know that I've gotten that point across, but he continues to say that I can't. So please don't be like this person. He's doing everything wrong, if I'm being completely honest. And it makes me sad, because I've known this person a long time, and I've been really close to this person for a long time. He's like a little brother to me. And to see him go down this path that he's going right now, it's like watching a car crash in slow motion. I know what's gonna happen, but you don't want to listen to me when I tell you to pump those brakes, turn the wheel a little bit. So please, don't be like this person. Don't say I can't. Say I can, or I will try, or I just don't want to, because sometimes you don't want to. And if you don't want to, and you know that if you don't resolve this particular issue with yourself, if you say that I don't want to, and you know that there's a problem, then, and you still want to continue to not do it, fine. But don't say I can't, because you can. You always can. That's it. Hulk smash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you ever noticed this type of thing in other people or yourself. Because, like I said, I just admitted that I used to be an I can't person. I was 100% that person. And that's why my life was so freaking miserable for years and years. So it's good to admit that you maybe used to be a person that says I can't, or you are a person right now that says I can't, but that you're going to change it. So I can't, let's get rid of that phrase forever. It's done. Starting today, we're done with it. Alright, Hulk, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. Did I say that already? I don't know. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Adios.